So normally I have a script ready for all these food for thought videos. Like I'm the kind of guy to script everything down, but today there's no script.
No kicks!
Because we're gonna talk about something that's so... Service charge! What do you all think about service charge? Because I do have a story about this. Welcome to Food for Thought, guys, and today we're gonna start with a story time. So a few weeks ago I went to this fried chicken restaurant, and for all intended purposes we should not give away this establishment. It's in Marina Square. So yeah, they consider themselves as a fried chicken restaurant. The only one that I really know that market themselves as that would be Yardbird at Marina Bay Sands, but this one is different. It's a Korean fried chicken restaurant, so they serve like whole chickens, bundles of 16 wings. I don't know why 16, but that's how it works. And then a couple of sides as well with some beers and drinks, the usual stuff. But basically, yeah, it's a restaurant because you have your service charge, you have your 9% GST, all that good stuff. But if you want to parallel it with, say, a fast food joint, say like Four Fingers, you automatically don't pay service charge. You usually don't get the extra 9%. They would state that it's within the cost of what you're paying for. You pay $10 for a set of wings. You pay $10, you don't pay the extra 9% on it, semantics, whatever. Yeah, so they pride themselves as a restaurant. They want to function as a restaurant, but this is what went down. Granted, we went in around 3+. The restaurant was almost empty. The staff sat us down and said like, sit wherever you want, right? It's empty. Not really service, but we move. Next thing you do is order with your QR code, and then you're straight away required to pay right away for your order to be processed into the kitchen. I realized that we have to pay for service charge and things like that. Expected, but you know, we move again. And you're not served with anything, right? You don't get plates. For a fried chicken restaurant, you don't get the plastic gloves, especially when it's very much a Korean fried chicken thing, you know, the plastic gloves and things like that. If you think about places like Bonchon chicken, Jinja chicken, you know, you're always given plastic gloves. There was none of that. No plates, no cutleries, no nothing. They have this like station where you take your cutleries and your sauces. I can't remember if the gloves were there as well, but basically you take everything yourself. You probably can see where this is going, right? Why are they charging service charge for? And I think the final straw came when, you know, obviously it was only just two of us. The smallest thing they had was like a bundle of 16 wings, so we couldn't finish and we requested for takeout to take away the rest of the things, right? And we were just passed a box. Yeah, that's all. You're just passed the box, you're required to do it yourself, and now that begs the question, what is the service charge for? And I feel that this is very important to start a conversation about, because has service charge become a thing where people just feel that, oh, okay, I can charge it just because I can. As long as we position ourselves as something a bit more upscale, we can charge service charge. And morally is wrong. So let's take a look at some of the reviews. First one that goes, additionally, they do not provide napkins or tissues. Despite a 10% service charge, the service and food quality are subpar. Service is like none. QR code, but we waved and raised our hand for queries, no one actually looked. Which, yeah, that was my experience as well. What do you pay service charge for? Back then, say when we didn't have QR code menus, we have regular menus. You think about your first experience going to a diner, for example, Swenson's. You are brought to your seat, a waiter comes over and asks how your day is, runs through the menu with you, takes your order, be it writing down on a notepad, or when it got more developed, they had an iPad as well. There was a lot of human touch. There was a bit of this human interaction where you can tell the server what you would be looking at, and then the server would give you the recommendations and what's the restaurant's like 招牌菜, specialty dish. Nowadays, we don't get that. Right? We go straight to QR codes, you scan your own, you browse through, you press whatever it is, and then you just go ahead with your meal. The food then comes served to you, and that's about it. This extra 10% is now like a question mark, right? There are some places you pay for certain services. You think about a Korean barbecue restaurant, the person cuts up your meat for you, cooks for you even. Many different kind of services, you would say, you know, they do the standard things, they bring the stuff to your table. They answer any queries you might have, but they also cook for you, they also do extra things for you if you really need. Of course, granted, you go to any restaurants with QR code menus, and when you do the QR code ordering yourself, you can still stop a server or waiter or staff to ask about what's up. You take all of that away, right? You go to places where they don't charge service charge. Say, like for us, we work in coffee, the person asks, what do you recommend? We just go off with what we know and say that, oh, today we have 2 on hopper, one is a full-bodied one is a more citrusy, acidic one, and then you can speak. Go ahead with what you like. These are the basics of service. Most establishments don't charge service charge for these basics of service. Should they or should they not? There's also another topic for another day, but if we go by a standardized route, we go by what people are doing. If this particular fried chicken restaurant are doing it, then everywhere else should be doing it. Everyone should just go ahead with 10%. Fuck it, right? Make everyone pay more just to balance out the books, balance out what everyone's doing, make it an even ground so that there's no complaints like this Muppet here talking to you guys raging on the internet. If you want to be a restaurant, why are you behaving like a fast food joint? And I'm not saying that fast food joints are bad, but there are limits to what a fast food joint can do. And if you are applying that limits to your own self, you cannot call yourself a freaking restaurant because you are just cheating the patrons' money. And this is my issue, right? Because I'm scanning a few of these reviews now. It's also clearly showing that they are not really bothered by all these things. They all send a very template reply. The reply to everyone is the same. It's not customized. I don't think they're taking the matter really very seriously, or they're showing that they're not. And I did mention this line before in the previous episode of Food for Thought, where we said that most complaints on Google reviews are always about service. People will be like, oh, I'm paying this amount of service charge. Granted, the service charge will definitely be more because the cost of the food is way more expensive. So they'll feel like paying that 10% is really not justified. But I'm gonna say and put it out now, like that fried chicken restaurant was not cheap at all. I think it was like 30 plus, close to $40 for that bundle of 16 wings. So you're looking at $3.50 minimum for the extra service charge. I think collectively we can say that what they're doing is objectively wrong. Obviously, they might have set the restaurant up to be really a proper service providing chain, right? They wanted their staff to serve like a regular restaurant, pouring your drinks, topping up your drinks, putting the utensils on your table, and all these little small gestures that make service and make your dinner experience really wonderful. But maybe it's the persons themselves, when they are working, they just decided to slack. They decided to take the easy way out and just, not my problem, I'm just gonna throw you a box, take away, do it yourself. I can't even be asked to do it for you. It could be that case. But if it's not, then what's the solution? How can we make these things better? How can we let people know that, hey, they are wrong? This is daylight robbery, guys. There's no two ways about it. This is daylight robbery. How can you... If I'm not wrong, because I did a quick research about these things, you can apply grants to convert your operation systems to implement QR code ordering. In a sense, your cost to set this up, right, be it iPads, be it an app or website, all this development is kinda subsidized by the government.
And the part that, like as you mentioned earlier, that ticked me off so much, right, is that you have to pay service charge. Yeah, why am I paying service charge for? Yes, I'm paying for the app, right? But the app that you pay is to offset your manpower.
Your business is saving a lot more money, but then the cost now comes back to the customers in us to pay more for service charge, even though we get less of a service. This is something I'll even pick up. There is no description of the items if you scan the menu from the QR code, which means whoever set it up didn't even bother to write about what's about the dishes. Bare minimums, guys, bare minimums. We talk about a bare minimum. Taking away. Say you go to any random restaurant, Din Tai Fung, right? Now everyone converts to QR code ordering or ordering through the website, whatever, okay? But say you don't finish your egg fried rice and you ask the service, hi, do you mind if you just help us pack this? No one would put the thing on your table and ask you to pack it yourself. Nobody would do it. This is why I'm so angry. I think that was the final straw about the whole taking away of things. You talk about McDonald's, right? You go to McDonald's, you can't finish your burger. What do you do? You go to the counter, you ask for a plastic bag and pack it yourself. Do you pay service charge for that? No, you don't. You don't even pay service charge to have table service. And if you have to pay service charge for table service at certain restaurants, and that's just the bare minimum that they do for your service, something is wrong.
Do you not order table service at McDonald's? Yeah. But you don't pay freaking service
No, but
charge?
but on the argument, I guess it's a fast food restaurant.
But it's essentially the same thing that they're offering, what? someone brings your food to your table, but one you pay service charge, one you do.
I shouldn't say this, but at your food costing, it's already kind of calculated for manpower. So then the additional 10%, I feel very unjust to pay.
You can say McDonald's is spoiling market because if I'm not wrong, Burger King doesn't do it, KFC doesn't do it. But for an establishment like them, yes, maybe they have the money to change the game a little bit and then make a better service situation for the customers by providing this table service. And that's great, you know, for us patrons. I'm not complaining. I don't like to do this where we compare overseas, but the one that stands out would be America, right? If you have been in America, or you probably have heard stories if you watch Two Broke Girls. Tipping culture. That's how people on minimum wage earn most of their money. If they can earn extra, that's how they do it. In fact, it also drives them to do service a little better. Obviously, you have that sort of like obligatory cut-off. I think it was like 8 or 10%, somewhat similar to us. But say if you feel that their service is really very good, of course there is no cap of how much you can give. You want to give 30%, 25%, that's entirely up to you, right? But that's how they try and get more money by providing you a better service. And I think that's a very, very fair exchange. I enjoy my time here, and then I get to choose if I want to pay you more or not. Otherwise, I'm just locked in with this like default percentage. And even in countries or cities with no tipping culture, which one of my favorite would be Newcastle, the service is just amazing. And these are places where they don't even charge service charge, but it's places where you really, really are so happy with the service. You want to tip them, you know, put money in the tipping jar and hope that the business does well, because they're just so warm when you enter. You get greeted, "How are you doing today, love?" They welcome you, they recommend what they like, they recommend what's the best seller, even without you asking. It's just really very heartwarming to see how much they treasure service, and like what I said previously in the episode as well. Service is an art, and we cannot downplay it. The other thing we want to talk about, which is also a bit of a question mark, is conveyor belt sushi restaurants, which I think BK pointed that out when we were doing the podcast. Why are we paying service charge for a place with conveyor belt sushi, or like the one where the train comes over and then you just take it yourself? Because from my research as well, you can apply for grants for that too. I would say some sushi restaurants, they will come over, count your plates, and then they'll tally the amount of price, and then you just go and pay. And now even some paying counters, right, it's not even humans, it's machines. I think that service quality is really going downhill in Singapore. I mean, unfortunately, I have to say this as a blanket statement. There are exceptions to the rule. There are places where I go and I really, really enjoy the service. I really enjoy the banter. I really enjoy talking to the staff about the product and learning more and getting educated and all this good stuff, where what I think top-notch service should be. These places should be the ones that deserve the 10%. But these are my thoughts. What are yours? Do let me know in the comments below. Start a conversation. Let's talk about this. Let's discuss whether service charge has really lost its meaning, and what are we really truly paying for. If you like this video, do like this video. And if you're not part of this community yet, please press the subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. If you have any similar experiences to share, or even topics you'd like us to cover, do leave them in the comments below as well, and we'll definitely get to it.